Hey everyone, welcome back with Beano Mac, where today we are going to continue our playthrough of Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, and we're getting up there, folks. We are getting up there. We're on part 16 at this point, and I was trying to figure if I could get this done. We're en route to find the final power-up in the game, which is going to allow us to spit bubbles at our enemies, so that way we can trap them in a bubble in air, and then we can use them as an even higher jumping point than the bubble gum guys. But I thought I was gonna be able to do the last episode. I was wrong, even with all my skipping around. So this time we're definitely gonna be we're gonna do it. All right, no more excuses, none of that nonsense. We're getting it done. Because I am at least in the actual area. I just have no idea what room I have to go to, or I don't know what's going on. Ooh, we went in the hole! Admit it, guys, that was smooth. Will that kill me? Oh god, he's back. Is this a door? Where am I? What is the purpose of this room? Okay, so one thing I did notice, guys, I kind of want to rectify a little bit, is I kind of gushed a little bit about my Scooby-Doo love and Cyber Chase, but I feel like for this playthrough, and this is more than likely going to be the last playthrough of a Scooby-Doo game I do on the channel, so the last time I'm going to be able to talk about it, really, and I haven't really gushed about Scooby-Doo as much as I should. I'm kind of just... Alright, this creeper's starting to irritate me. But what else is new? But, so I haven't gushed about Scooby-Doo as much. And I don't think I've really gotten across my fandom of it, really, in any videos. So, my thing with Scooby-Doo is I'm actually more of a movie kind of guy. I'm more of a movie kind of guy when it comes to Scooby-Doo. So obviously in the Cyber Chase games, you heard I love all the 4 direct-to-DVD movies. I know they've had more than just those 4 that are direct-to-DVD, but those are the big 4 that everybody remembers, Zombie Island, Witch's Freaking Ghost, the Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase. Those are all some of the best. The best movies of Scooby-Doo are definitely, in my opinion, Zombie Island and Witch's Ghost. However, I also love a lot of the other stuff in the franchise as well. Ghoul School, I think that's kind of like something that's become a bit of a cult classic, somewhat in the Scooby-Doo... Jeez, I can't even think of the right word. The Scooby-Doo franchise, I think that's a cult classic thing. It was even featured in... I think it was... The show's called KOKKO or whatever, where they made a pretty brief comeback or something like that, and I guess that was cool. I never watched it. My end of the Cartoon Network stuff was in like around 2015 or 2014 or something like that. Halfway through like regular shows run, and pretty much around the time Teen Titans Go kind of came on. It wasn't that show in particular that drove me off. It was just kind of like, I started to get older and I liked watching Adult Swim a little bit more, but I used to be a fanatic when it came to Cartoon Network, so maybe I'll talk about that at some point later on. Back to Scooby-Doo. Speaking of Cartoon Network or Scooby-Doo, though, another show that I loved was What's New Scooby-Doo, and I used to actually really watch that with, I used to get the DVDs, and that's kind of where my love of Scooby-Doo came from. We always used to get DVDs, so What's New Scooby-Doo, I really like that, return to form of the franchise. Where Are You, of course, is an awesome classic. With What's New, I really like the art style of it. I think it has the best art style of any Scooby-Doo show I've seen. And I'm sure a lot of people would disagree because it kind of has that, nowadays was considered to be that kind of cookie cutter, very polished visuals type things. And maybe the animation itself, like the movement, isn't always the greatest. But I think, it's still, I don't know, it's just so very pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. Where Are You, I think, had some really good animation as well. The characters were well animated. The faces are hilarious. That's pretty much where all my thumbnails come from. And, the monsters in the original Where Are You are just unmatched. Like, there's just no better monsters than that. As far as the ones that, people in costumes anyway. Zombie Island was kind of the redemption for the series, and I kind of feel bad for the guy who voiced Shaggy at that point. I can't remember who it was, but he's someone I feel like it's the Shaggy that kind of got shafted in the series when you think about it, because the washing machine hurts me really. Because I think it was the guy, eventually the original Shaggy voice actor, who I used to know the name of. I can't think of it at the top of my head. He was he was always the original, and he was very good Shaggy. Of course, he's the same guy who voiced him in this game, but he pretty much said, "All right, Shaggy's not vegetarian. Yeah, well, too bad. I'm gonna stop voicing him because he doesn't support my beliefs." Which, I kind of have respect for that a little bit, but I think it's also a little bit lame that he kind of made Shaggy become a vegetarian. I mean, come on, you're voicing a character, man. Like, really? But, whatever. Once again, I kind of respect it a little bit. You know, he was gonna, he had principles he stood for him, so I'm half and half on it. But then, when he stopped doing that, then they had that weird sounding Shaggy that's in the best movies. I think the best things in the franchise in general. Zombie Island. I love that reused scream they used in that all the time. You could tell it was low budget, but the animation was fan freaking tastic, and the atmosphere was awesome. It was legitimately scary. So is freaky to this day, which is Ghost. I think, which is a very calm setting that I loved. Of course, Tim Curry, he voices the mastermind in this game, but he also voiced Ben Ravencroft in which is Ghost, and I just love the atmosphere. I love Oak Haven, I believe it's called. It's just, that is a place I can get behind. And then on top of that, Alien Invaders was a really cool, like, switcheroo kind of thing. They did it very unique, in which they kind of hinted at, kind of like Witch's Ghost, but I think they did it better in the fact of, like, oh, yeah, these are guys just in a costume, but then real aliens. Oh! And then Cyber Chase, I think, kind of just did away with that. And once again, in a unique way. There was nobody in a costume again, but it was a real life threat. Once again, I think that's what really made those movies stand out and why a lot of people loved them. And then, of course, the live action movies I absolutely freaking love, especially the first one. And, obviously, speaking of the shafted Shaggy guy, he got shafted because I think he, was part of, the biggest memories of a lot of people's in the franchise. And I love Matthew Lillard. Make no mistake about it. And they had to pick one of them. And obviously the guy didn't come back, from the direct DVD movies for a reason. And Matthew Lillard, he's kind of the voice of Shaggy in all productions now. Because, unfortunately the original actor for, voice actor for Shaggy passed. Casey Kasem, I think his name is. Yeah, that's who it is. Used to be in radio. And he was a very good Shaggy. And then he was the original one as well. And then with Matthew Lillard, I freaking love him. I love him in Scream. I love him in Scooby Doo. Spooky Island, Mr. Bean, all this awesome stuff. That it's a hilarious movie. And I'm not really the guy I just like Scooby Doo for Scooby Doo. I'm not the guy that's like, oh man, weed, yeah, oh man, it's so adult, cool, and stuff like that. I guess it wouldn't be the biggest thing. It could be a decent movie if they did go ahead and make it with an adult thing, but I don't know. I don't really care about, kind of like with the adult jokes in SpongeBob. Like, I don't think they're really adult enough to really be like, yeah, this deserves to be an adult thing and all this other stuff. It just kind of seems silly to me. If you're into that, sure, but just know that I think you're cringe. I think you're cringe, but hey, we all have different tastes. I'm sure there's a lot of people are probably listening to me on my videos and they're just thinking, man, this guy's massively cringe. So, different strokes for different folks type deal, being into what you're into, but that's just a little bit of a spark notes of my, love for the Scooby-Doo franchise. I love the WWE movie as well. Maybe I'll go over it in another video one of these days, folks. But, we're going to go for a little montage of snacks that I still need here. Alright, so we do have our 850 now, so we can go into the super secret lab. And I actually made a mistake. It's actually for the boss battle that we need the 850 and not just entering the lab. We can go into the lab for free, thankfully. And, thank you guys for listening to me ramble about my love of Scooby-Doo. There are a lot of things. There's so much Scooby-Doo that I love that I couldn't even mention in this whole video. I love Vampire Rock. I love a pup named Scooby-Doo. All that stuff. I love Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood even. A lot of direct-to-DVD and made-for-TV shows I just couldn't even mention. Hopefully someday in the future I'll be able to tell you guys all about that. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and make sure to check out next week's episode. And of course, above all else, please remember to have a nice day.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are